I think the other day when I had mentioned that I was happy with these tree trunks in the painting, that I had painted in the colors and values, and they, they weren't finished, but they were painted in. Obviously, the last thing that I'm going to play with now is changing the values. So I was wrong in saying that, because now I'm going to raise the values in certain areas. I'm going to have a little bit of, I don't think direct light, but some ambient light catch. I think more of the tops of these trees, of these trunks, and that will give them a little bit more shape than they had before I touched that. So you can see on this one already I've begun, and I'm going to go and move on to these other two now. And I'll also probably raise the values of a few leaves here and there, just to bring some forward. And in bringing some forward, the others will get pushed back. Trying to find exactly the right value sometimes can be a little bit frustrating, but it works out. Okay. Got a little bit sloppy there. Okay, I'm fading a little bit darker as we go down on the painting. That's beginning to give it a bit of shape. It's giving it more importance. It's bringing it forward. It's okay as long as I don't get too strong with it, because I don't want to compete with the background. But I think the background is going to be able to withstand a bit a bit of light detail and a bit of shape in the foreground. And so we continue to play I don't want to overdo the light on this one that is very close to the edge of the painting, because it is close to the edge of the painting. I might just leave that as it is for the moment. Okay, I think you're starting to see now some of these leaves that I've laid a little bit more light on. It's still cobalt blue, burnt sienna, and titanium white in varying degrees. Not over mixing the pile. Still allowing, you know, a few of the bristles in the brush to carry more cobalt blue, other bristles more white, other bristles more burnt sienna. Trying to be careful not to overmix these strokes. But I'm just going to do a couple more. I kind of like these on this main trunk to catch a bit more light, and then going down in sort of a pyramid shape as we get to the bottom, again to help support the bases. Not too much light on these ones, but maybe a little more. They look kind of just colored in rather than 3D. I don't mix a big pile on my palette when I find a color or when I establish a color. I really just mix myself enough for a few brush strokes, and and then keep adding to that pile, or then, you know, remix another enough for a few brush strokes. Because what ends up happening if you mix too much for yourself, every time you go back with your brush and you dip into that little pile of color, you are mixing that pile of color a little bit. And kind of like to avoid that. Again, trying to keep your brush strokes a little bit raw. Okay, I'll go a little lighter here, but not much. Am I going off screen here? Almost. Or not off screen, out of frame. Okay. You know, I think at least for now, that's all the highlighting I want to do on the foliage on the left here. And I may not end up doing much on the right. I did not even haven't even put more light on these two smaller trunks on the right hand side yet. We'll see how that goes. I'll take the camera off the tripod and give you a close-up of what I've done. Okay, I'll just pan down these three trunks so that you can sort of see how I've laid the light in. You know, it's fairly ambient light, but it is coming mostly from the left. This dark hole here, I actually decided to go with quite a bit of ultramarine blue and raw umber, just to give a bit of a variety of color. And now you can see that the values of all of the leaves are not the same. They vary quite a bit, bringing some forward and pushing others back. Okay, so that's it on those ones. I will probably work on the right hand side trunks, and I actually need to paint those trunks in, and obviously the focal area needs quite a bit of work as well. Yesterday somebody commented that this tree looks like it's just kind of perched on top of that yellow bush. So far it does, I agree with that, but it's not going to stay that way. Okay, there we have it so far. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.